Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Paint Party Livestream. It's so good to be with you again in studio as always. So glad to have you. Every Monday night, I meet you here in my studio to work on another painting and to bring you along on my learn to paint process. This is a process I started about 5 years ago when I began learning to teach myself to paint. And about a year or two ago, I started transitioning to oil paints. So I have been working with oil paints the last year or so, a couple years probably. And so in the last few weeks, we have begun to do studies of or master copies of kind of master paintings. And that is what we're going to continue tonight. For a few weeks, we worked on sections from a Thomas Moran painting. He was an early American painter. And tonight we're going to move to a different painting. We're actually going to try to do a small study of a major painting from Albrecht Bierstadt, who was also a painter of the idealized West, the idealized Yellowstone, the idealized Rocky Mountains. And so that's what I'm excited to work on, particularly to learn some of the techniques and some of the colors that these painters used and how they created the feeling of this ideal setting in their paintings, not to mimic it, but I want to be able to bring that into my own landscape paintings. And so that is the goal this evening. So let's jump in and get started. You can participate in the live stream wherever you are watching, whatever channel or platform you're on, via the comments. Feel free to say hello, to ask questions, or to make comments as we go through the evening. I always enjoy hanging out with you and interacting with you as we continue through the evening. It is pretty warm here in the mountains. It was, I think, 85 today, Fahrenheit, and we have some humidity. It is clouding over, and there's chance of a thunderstorm, so you may hear some thunder in the background as the night goes. As the temperatures start to cool over the mountain, it's likely that we will get storms, but I am ready for this humidity to be gone. It's not super high, but for us, we're not used to humidity, so I feel like I lived like I did when I lived in the American South, because it just feels like there's like it's just sticky everywhere. But let's dive in. So good to have everybody. I'm going to switch you over to this camera here as I get my setup set. And I'll turn my phone camera around so that you can see what is going on my canvas paper. In a minute, we'll get all of that set up. All right. What I am doing here, that image that you see there in the right-hand side is the Bierstadt painting that we are going to try to mimic this evening. I am setting up right now let's see, 6 3/4 is what I am setting up my canvas paper with the same dimensions as my reference photo. Found that works really well. So let me put a line here. Especially for these studies, these won't be things I ever show the public beyond here. They aren't anything that I would ever sell, of course. So I just do them on some canvas paper. And I did not do this ahead of time, so you'll pardon me. This is 5 and an 8, 2 8s. No, 5 and an 8. Yeah, 5 and an 8. So we need to go 5 and an 8, 5 and an 8 this way. Wait, what am I doing? Oh, there we go. 5 and 8. There we go. 5 and an 8. And that should give us the right. Hey there, Marty. So good to see you. Thanks for popping in. As I was saying earlier, y'all can participate in the live stream via the comments wherever you're watching, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, wherever it is. All right, let's see. What was that again? The measurement 6 and 3/4, about 6 3/4. So need to go 6 3/4 here. It's like right there. I should have had this done ahead of time, and I apologize. Hey, Olan. Good afternoon here, or good evening. Yeah, it is about 6 p.m. I finally caught you while you're actually, yeah, 6 p.m. Mountain Time on Mondays is my jam. All right, that gives us the right dimensions. I don't know if you're getting thunder in the canyon, but it is starting to thunder a bit here on the mountain. Hope that we don't get any hail. That's what I am. Good afternoon, my friend. I hope you are having a good day. It is what? Oh, it must be early morning there, isn't it? About 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. I hope you have a good day. I think it's Tuesday morning there. Has been a good day so far here. Okay. So you can see I have a reference photo right here, and I'm going to actually move this up a little bit, and my painting. I'm going to try to go where this is lined up pretty directly. Okay. That is, oh, you can't see that because you need to be right here. Here you go. Now you can see, you see my setup here with the reference photo. How's the weather? It is good. It's a little bit hot and humid compared to what we are used to in the mountains, but nothing compared to the Philippines. It is pretty nice weather right now, but we are getting thunderstorms potentially in the next few hours. I think we may have a print of one of his paintings. Yeah, Bierstadt was I didn't know who he was. I love hiking up in Rocky Mountain Park, and there's a Bierstadt Lake on one of my favorite hikes there. So I knew, and I assume that's the way to pronounce his name. But yeah, if you look at Albrecht Bierstadt's paintings, they are quite magnificent. Again, he did kind of this idealized version of Yellowstone, the Rocky Mountains, the American West. But it makes sense because these people had never seen landscapes like these, as vast and as magnificent as the landscapes of the West. So does make sense to me that they would try to paint images that could reflect that, I guess. Okay, and this time I tried to, yes, exactly. It's Tuesday in the morning with a bad weather condition. Oh no, please stay safe. Please stay safe. That is terrible. That is terrible. All right, let's do some drawing a little bit. I'm going to take a little bit of some burnt umber here and a little paint thinner and try to put in some basic framework. Just roughly. Thank you, my friend. Welcome everybody who's popped in the last few minutes. Welcome. Kind of just put in some rough landmarks. That's my goal. Something like that. What's interesting is back in here, if you can see that, this ridge disappears behind this tree, which is fine, but I never noticed that. It's unlikely that an actual mountain would just fall I mean, it could be like a very dramatic, but isn't that interesting that he did not like bring this over? That's really, really interesting. An interesting choice. We'll kind of use this as a guide. All right. That kind of gives me the basic outline. Half Dome. Ooh, yeah, that's one of his more well-known. I have started saving a bunch of his paintings on Google Arts and Culture because that's where I'm getting my reference from, because you can get high resolution images. And so, yeah, that is really interesting. So the thing that I want to do for this painting is I really want to explore like how he gets these lights to appear to shine through the shadows. So that is my goal right now. Please look at the reference on your screen, not mine, because it's catching glare from the, I'm not sure where that's coming, if that's from above or probably from above. Yeah, I think it's this. It is catching the glare from this. Wonder if I can turn this down. Nope. Oh, that's not good. White. Okay. There we go. Yeah, this is white light. That's good. Okay. But I can't turn off. If I turn that off. Oh, maybe I do. Oh, it is this light behind me. Okay. Well, I will just do that then because I think I can do it. Then you get a better sign or better image of what's going on here. There we go. That is cool. It was coming from over my left-hand side. All right, so let's look at this. The first thing I kind of want to do is actually put in this. Where is the... There's kind of a tree that comes down right there. Kind of like this. Okay, so this is kind of roughly our creek line. So what I want to do now is I just want to take, let's see, I don't know what kind of brush I want to do. I think I want to just take a fuzzy brush and I want to mix some of this color. In the back. It's a blue-ish greenish. Bluish, greenish. That is let's see what this is. I'm mixing some burnt umber, ultramarine blue, and I'm going to try to do so we'll come down to there ish. Kind of just do our and we'll come over here, do the same thing a little bit, just basically covering. If you remember last week, hey Sharon, so good to see you. I heard your sister's going to be in town soon. Looking forward to seeing them, as I'm sure you all are as well. Always love when they visit. All right. We'll just take all of this, make some, just kind of make some suggestions of trees out there in the background. Right now, I'm just kind of focusing on getting covered, because that's our rule, is we don't adjust anything until all the canvas is covered. At least that's the main rule. So I'm mixing a little bit of, trying to mix some brown there. It's kind of a more brown color. That is right in here. And I know these values are off, but again, we're not adjusting anything until we all canvas covered. And I'm doing just kind of mid-tones, meaning the middle tone of each block, almost as if I were painting my own painting of this. I'm doing kind of a color block in. So then I'm looking over here. This is let's put some this. It's a little bit forward, so there's a little more green in this, kind of. And that comes back into here, into those trees, around this, back into this area. We can take this all the way down, I think. And obviously we'll put in some highlights and such. But this gives us coverage. Now what we want to do as we come forward is basically we have this reddish tone. Let's see. I may have lightened it too much, but kind of this reddish tone in here. Definitely this rock kind of. Then we also have lighter tone of this blue. May have done, again, too bright. That's probably way too saturated, but it does, we do have these spots that are this. So I'm just going to put them in. Along here, there's, okay. Now, I want to get this part painted in. So let's look at kind of a dark, what this is, a dark kind of, may not be able to get dark enough. Oh, it is, I can get dark enough. Okay, so we want to come in and kind of put in some one of the things that I think it makes this effective is because you have this really dark line next to the light. And again, back here, you kind of have this light area that is almost a circle composition defined by this dark, and this dark, and this dark. So it pushes your eye completely into the painting. If that makes sense. That's, now this, there is a dark. So what I want to do is take this dark, our deepest spots, want to put in our shadow. And we lose the lines here, meaning like the line between the bottom of the rock and the shadow. And so you have these lost lines periodically. This isn't the right tone. This is more red. We can define that. And then I'm going to come in here with a kind of that gray tone. Let's see. Again, we're just doing midtones here to get what we want to see is if our values work. We'll be able to tell if our values work as we get, because you don't have to have the right colors to make the values work. We should be able to get a pretty good idea of this image if the values are decent, if that makes sense. And so I'm very intentionally keeping it from doing a lot of detail. We'll put those people in at the end, all the detail work that's here in the foreground. But I kind of want to just put in the Still work on that. More. I think there's definitely, oh, some. Okay. Let's let that sit for a minute. Now what I want to do is come back and see if I can do some of this. So we'll need some lighter. Is that too light? That's about perfect for mid-tone of all of this water. This might be, yeah, I think it comes further out there, but that's all right. Now I can, in the middle, we have kind of this warm section, comes over to here, hooks right into that. Right into the shoreline here. And there's another warm section across there. Ba, ba, ba. Now we need kind of a greenish blue that's light. So Okay, now take that blue back. And it's kind of purpley. I think this is way too blue now, but sort of. Now, what is not working is that we need darker tone in, well, definitely there, but right in here. This comes out, I think, a little bit further. And then just kind of, yeah. My drawing is off. So that rock comes out to here. And this comes out here. And it's okay because this kind of fades into this water. There's a lot of mist. So we can kind of play with that a little bit. So now this needs to be and we'll go back and put in those light spots, if that makes sense, in the trees. All right. Let's take a look. I'm going to step back and see what's working, what's not working. And you guys do the same and let me know what is not working here. And we will begin to slowly. Oh, you know what? I haven't put any sky in. Let me do that real quick. It's kind of a purple. Everyone's quiet tonight. Sun came back out here. I thought we were going to get thunderstorms, and then the sun's back out. So crazy. So crazy. It's just part of it, I guess. I want these to be really more visible. Kind of fun to try to do a full wet on wet master copy of something like this in such a short time. It definitely pushes your... That's why I made sure it was such a small, kind of 5x7-ish size, so that I could have any hope of doing that. Okay, let me just step back and see what we got. All except, there we go. Now we need a bum, bum, bum. Scrape some of this off before I put more burnt umber in here because it's got lots of paint boogers. Lots of paint boogers. Lots of paint boogers. Oh, 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 oh. We will put some more burnt umber out. Maybe. Okay. Yes. Okay. There we go. So smooth like butter. So smooth like butter. So smooth like butter. And then we need, what I'm doing is the base of the trees, because that's the only white space left on my palette or on my canvas. So we need, this goes basically like this. Something like that. Then we need this. Yeah, something. Then we need the dark. Just smoothing out some of these white spots, covering them up. We can always go back and put them in. Dark. Roughly. All right. Gives the idea. Let's step back. Let's step back. Ouch. Okay. Honestly, like, I think the drawing is pretty close. What do you guys think? Those of you that are still here, like just the drawing, the shapes, the large shapes. When I step back, I'm about 6-8 feet back. I mean, the details are not there, but the rest of it is there. Pretty close. Pretty close. That looks fun. Okay. Everyone's quiet. Maybe no one's in here. There's a few of you watching. You're welcome to ask questions or comment, y'all. You know how this works. All right. I think the thing I want to go back to now is the sky. I want to begin to cover up all of this space that isn't covered. That's not good. I want to, it's supposed to be a purple, kind of purple color. Watching. Everyone's just quiet, which is just fine. Okay, so we want to do some of this blue over there and definitely here. What we want at this point is want to start to carve in some of these details, because that's what's going to sell it from a distance, is just the illusion of detail. Okay, so here I want to come in with this and start to put an illusion of lighter color clouds. There, it's very subtle, but he definitely warms up this side for sure. There's it's almost a pink. There's a little bit of that. There. Now we take some much lighter tone, and we just also down here. Hey, Shirley. So good to see you. Thanks again for stopping by this week. It was so unexpected and such a great treat. I had fun for sure. Oh, now we're getting glare on that left side, aren't we? We really need this one on, that one off. I wonder if I can do it. Let's see. There we go. Is that better? Glare wise? Not quite. There we go. A little bit. You get glare over here. But then we also get glare here a little bit. Oh, well, it's better than what we had, I think. It's better than what we had. Okay. go. Now the key is this. A little red, a little yellow, little white, a lot of white. Let's see if we can make some draw some of this. We'll just try to put some of these shapes in again. Again, it's just the illusion of roiling water. what Bierstadt has done really well here is the balance of his, I said this before with other, like his value range in this spot is impeccable, meaning the darks and lights, like there's these shifts where it just creates form in the water, and it's just incredible. And I don't know, I mean, it's pretty amazing. But it's something to definitely mimic and to learn. There's these cooler and warmer spots where he comes in then under these kind of these warm inflections, meaning warm kind of yellowish color. And almost like a reddish. Yeah. 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 That is fun. That is fun to attempt. Also, he has such, this is a much bigger painting, so I want to get the feeling of it more than the exact, every brush stroke, because I want to learn myself how do you create that feeling more than the actual trying to mimic every brush stroke, because that's kind of foolish in my opinion. because it'll just get so crazy. Okay, now I want to see if I can do this. Let's do some. My goal here is to see if I can do some of these tree details, because I think that's going to help sell this more than or as much as anything. So let's get roughly there and roughly here. See if we can do some hard part here is we're doing wet on wet. So you have to lay it on pretty heavy to cover, but it's all right. We'll get kind of the main feeling. Oh my goodness. We are almost to the end, aren't we? I didn't even realize it. Woo! Okay. We need an orange. That is... I'll have to probably come back and do another layer of this, but it's really bright. Hard to do with big brushes, but gets the idea across. Where is, okay, let's do the gentleman's coat. We'll just do a little bit just to kind of put those people in place. Again, the people are not not why I want to do this, but it is a good he had a, if we could do kind of just a, there we go. Good enough. I think it gives us the idea. Want to dull down this lady's hair a little bit. I don't know if I can, but that was the intent. right, I think I'm basically to the end. Of what I want to do this evening, and I'm pretty happy with it, y'all. Pretty happy. Let me do a little tiny bit of that. All right. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Let's wrap it up. It's hard, I know, for you to tell because you are looking at it through lenses of some glare. So let me bring you back here while I turn around this camera. Hope you have enjoyed this. We will be doing probably more like this. I'm not sure if I'm going to go back to doing sections of paintings or trying to do complete little micro studies, probably a combination of both. But I hope that it's enjoyable for you. All right, this is, let me hold it up, see if I can hold it up without a ton of glare. That's what we got. His is obviously a lot more vibrant over on this side. But for 2 hours, not a bad study, in my humble opinion. What do you all think? I hope you enjoyed. Oh, duh. Sorry, somebody yell at me. There we go. Oops. Let me now show you. I forgot to turn my camera back. That is what we have. And what I was saying is this is much more vibrant, of course, but I really am pleased with what we have in just a quick 2-hour study. Pretty pleased. And hopefully that will continue to inform my own development as I work on my own landscapes in the future and learn. I'll just have a lot more experience under my belt of what the masters have done, or at least trying to think through what they may have done. And so I think that is really helpful. So next week, I may not be here because I'm going to be out on the lake. So my guess is that I will not get back to town in time to do the live stream. So we will pick it up the following week. Typically, though, I am here every Monday night at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. I want to thank you again for joining me, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. We will see you next time.